It pains me to say with a heavy heart that the creator of Dragon Ball Z, Akira Toriyama, passed away back on March 1st, and we tragically got the news about 12 hours ago. Many of you probably know this, but if you don't, now you know, and I just want to say, I think many people in the anime community, we wouldn't be where we are today if it wasn't without his inspirations and his work. So with that, I want to dedicate this video to the man, the myth, the legend himself, and with that out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about Jujutsu Kaisen chapter 253, where we get the second round of Maki versus Sukuna, how much of his potential was fully unleashed, and now with many of the top sorcerers out of commission, what can Kusakabe do? And you know, let's just probably talk about Kusakabe first, because we see in the beginning of the chapter and even in the end of the chapter where we get a nice flashback where Gojo, Nanami, and even Mei says, the strongest grade 1 sorcerer out of all of us, who can it be? And a lot of people say, well, it's Kusakabe at the end of the day if you take out the exceptions of 3 big clans, the Zenin, Gojo, and Noritoshi clan. But this is a real interesting thing to note, more importantly for what Kusakabe is going to do in the upcoming chapter. But then when you look at the entire series, and we know that Kusakabe is a grade 1, and we see him almost attempt to do something back in Shibuya, but it was Sukuna, oddly enough, telling him, if you move even an inch, I'm going to kill you. So for him to be labeled as the strongest grade 1, when throughout the series what we've seen him do was, well, really a whole lot of nothing except be an exposition lore dump, is a bit odd. And this is already reminding me of what Takaba did against Kenjaku in their battle when we saw both of these combatants face off. But Kenjaku, for being strong, he was a man of curiosity and intrigue. When he got serious, he had to get serious, but Kenjaku liked to have fun. Sukuna likes to have fun in his own ways, where he's pushing people to their limits, whether it's Higuruma, whether it's Kashimo, and despite not going all out against Gojo, he definitely felt pushed against Satoru himself. So what is Kusakabe going to do or not do that a lot of people are going to walk away saying, wow, Kusakabe, you have my respect? Because this man, he doesn't really have my respect. I don't think he's completely worthless. But for even Gege in the narrator's note to say at the end of 253, Kusakabe? What is he going to do? Well, you know he's going to pull something, but is he going to defeat Sukuna? Absolutely not. And even after learning in chapter 252 that Sukuna hasn't even fully gone out, many of us speculated that what he was going to unleash against Maki was a secret hidden technique that he hasn't revealed yet, the Fuga, the fire arrow, whatever you want to call it. But what really seemed to have happened in this chapter is that, well, no, Sukuna just seemed to have zoomed in and just be hyper aware of what's happening, seeking this total excitement against Maki, which now let's actually go ahead and talk about that. We see Sukuna just fully invested, raising Maki many times throughout this battle, saying, because of this heavenly restriction, your body, like your pure physical raw might, is what gets me excited the most out of everyone I faced off so far, because I am a master of Jujutsu, which I think he said is like the meat and something else, but Maki is like the bones and true essence. So it's this clash against this mastery and sorcery that he has accumulated for thousands of years versus Maki, this physical brute of a juggernaut of an opponent. And Sukuna is really invested in this battle. Although we do see some back and forth, now that Sukuna is supposedly in the zone, Maki is definitely putting up a valiant effort, but things are clearly tipping in Sukuna's favor. There's even a moment where Ino interferes in the battle, and if Ino didn't interfere, it looked like Maki probably in that moment could have died or would have been severely injured. So shout out to Ino for conveniently helping out Maki when he could. And then this plays off to Sukuna being in the zone, because there's a moment where Ino didn't have Nanami's weapon or only Kusakabe to interject, but they clearly know what they were trying to do all along. Now, some people might be a little worried about Maki because she did get hit with a direct Black Flash, and we saw how Gojo executed this perfect Black Flash against Sukuna, where he was knocked out temporarily. We see in Maki's instance, she basically flew off the stage Super Smash Bros. Style, and some people are worried that she might be dead, and although for probably the majority of the cast, they probably would have died, I think it's safe to say that Maki isn't out yet, much like Yuta being left in the air with the world-cutting slash where Rika Kusaka escaped with him. If Gege really wanted to make an emphasis that Maki was dead, I think he would have done it. So she's out of commission, Yuji and Choso are nowhere to be seen, and Sukuna's might in this chapter is really depicted as, personally speaking, him just being in the zone. So I'd like to reiterate, what is Kusakabe going to do? But if Gege is taking this indirect dark humor with what Kusakabe can potentially do or not do, I'm really curious to see how all of this is going to play out. Is Kusakabe going to shock all of us, or is he going to be Sukuna's first victim? Let me know in the comments down below, and if you want to see more Jujutsu Kaisen videos, you're going to want to click right here.